Hello, and you're welcome to yet another interesting edition of my opinion on Cleveland TV. My name is Frank Idemudia, and as usual, I'd like to remind you to keep signing up on www.cleveland.com. My guest this afternoon is Mr. Nick Agule. Mr. Nick Agule is the chairperson and governance committee, NIDO UK South. We are going to be discussing the impact of NIDO in our UK community. Mr. Agule, you're welcome to my opinion.
Thank you very much. Nice having you here, and good afternoon to our viewers around the world.
Thank you. Thank you for being our guest today. Yeah, we would like to start with this. Would you mind introducing yourself to the audience?
Yes, my name is Nick Agule. I am a chartered accountant. I used to work in the oil industry, but I have retired now. My last post in the oil industry was to work for BP, or what people used to know as British Petroleum, at their global headquarters here in London. I'm now retired. I run a consultancy. I also run businesses, especially in the charitable sector in Nigeria. I'm married with children. I live in a place called West Drayton, which is just north of Heathrow Airport here in London. And from Nigeria, I'm a team man from Benue State. I'm married with 5 children. I don't know if I've given everything or you still need more.
You've certainly done that. So how has it been being an accountant in the diaspora?
Well, it has been very useful. Actually, when I used to work for Chevron in Nigeria and then moved over to Shell in Nigeria. So when I actually came to the UK to resume work with BP, I wasn't doing accounting work. I didn't come into the finance department of BP. Instead, I came into IT. So I was in the global projects team. We're running global projects, transformation projects for BP across the world and deploying these things. So my last role was not a pure finance role per se. It was more governance, assurance, and control type work, which I did before I left. I was with BP for 9 years before I retired. Yeah.
CleveNod Business Matchmaker is an innovative social platform that delivers result-driven campaigns and marketing solutions for businesses in all sectors, such as law firms, restaurants, hospitality, real estate, medical finance, manufacturers, beauty, events, retailers. In fact, we are the marketing social platform for everything. A dating site for businesses matchmaking. At CleveNod, we bring together startups and more established businesses together, where you can find people who share your interests. Members can build their profiles, send messages, friend people, interact with each other, share interests, and much more. Take a minute to fill in your profile and tell the world about yourself. At CleveNod Business Matchmaker, we know that personalized online identity and business timeline are crucial to the growth of every business. We've designed CleveNod Business Matchmaker to help businesses to own a personalized timeline in just 2 minutes. Easy search functionality. The personalized timeline is designed to feature all your business ideas with complete search functionalities which help users navigate through all your listed services, products, or ideas for customers to contact you directly. Sign up today at www.clevenod.com. It's free.
All right. I would like to comment that you actually made mention of my next question, indirectly answer part of my next question, which is the objectives of NIDO. I know you spoke 1 or 2 things about it, but can you comprehensively, let's cover that. What are the objectives of NIDO as a body?
So the objectives of NIDO is as intended by the government of Nigeria. The government realizes that there are perhaps more than 10 million Nigerians, if not more, who live abroad, and that Nigerians are passionate about their own country, wherever they live in the world. And the government recognizes that Nigerians, given their passion for homeland development, have been remitting billions of dollars every year back to Nigeria. But these remittances come in individual forms. People sending money to their families or to their friends for their individual projects. So the main objective of NIDO, therefore, was the government of Nigeria setting up a structure where Nigerians abroad can operate in a corporate form. So instead of, say for instance, me sending money for someone to build me a house, do me this project, that Nigerians can corporately come together, put their resources together, put their talents together, and then go and do something big, something on a much larger scale than our individual efforts can ever be. So that is the main objective of NIDO, putting Nigerians together, both our talents, our resources, and everything, so that, look, we talk about refineries in Nigeria that have become moribund. That's the kind of thing that NIDO is expected to do. NIDO members put the money together and go and take one of the refineries, refurbish it, and start giving Nigerians petrol, something at that kind of corporate level, far beyond the individual remittances that we're doing. So this is actually a platform that has been created by the government of Nigeria to draw close Nigerians who are living in the diaspora for homeland development.
It's all right. For how long has NIDO been in existence?
I don't have the exact date in my head for the formation of NIDO worldwide that has resulted in this, but I know that it has been in existence. The current DG of NIDCOM, Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa, is the pioneer DG of the commission, and that means she must have taken office anything after 2015 under the government of President Buhari. So I would say it's less than 10 years that NIDCOM has been in existence.
It's all right. But according to reports that we got, NIDO was actually founded in the year 2000 by the government of former President Olusegun Obasanjo.
That can be very true. I cannot argue with that. Yeah.
But actually, and what we got was that it was actually to promote the economic and infrastructural development in Nigeria itself. Now, does NIDO in diaspora has any projects to this regard?
Okay, so I am not in a position to speak for NIDO worldwide or the continental NIDOs around the world. I think we have 5 or 6 of them, the continental ones, or NIDO national. Every country have their own NIDO. So I won't be in a position to speak authoritatively on those ones, but I can speak about NIDO UK South, where I belong to. And NIDO UK South, we have projects within the UK where we are based and in Nigeria. Now,
let's take the project you have in the UK where you are based first. Let's take it from there, then we'll go back to Nigeria.
Correct. Yeah. So the first thing here in the UK is that we have a very good relationship with the High Commission here in the UK. Anytime a new High Commissioner is appointed, it is our job to go meet them, know them, let them also know us, because that relationship then becomes key in assisting our members who have one need or the other to do with the High Commission. So we build that relationship with the High Commission. We have built relationships with different councils where our members live. We have also engaged in free surgeries, legal surgeries for Nigerians, not just members of NIDO, but Nigerians who have one legal issue or the other. It could be an immigration issue, it could be a domestic issue, and all of that. We also have collaborations with different organizations where we attract funding and expertise for projects in Nigeria. We also train our members, like we have carried out training in cybersecurity for our members so that they become more aware of how they can secure themselves when they are online. So those are the kind of activities that we do here in the UK, because knowing fully well that in the UK, our job is to look after our members and build collaborations that will help Nigeria. So physical projects is where we go to Nigeria to do.
Okay. All right. Let's look at developments of the homeland now. You just described the developments you've had in your resident countries and all of that. But now the other objective of NIDO was actually to bring development to the homeland itself, which is Nigeria. Has there been any project you've done to this regard?
Yes. So we in NIDO UK South have done projects in Nigeria. I would say that our biggest project in Nigeria is what we call a week in and for Nigeria. A week in is for NIDO UK South members to actually travel to Nigeria and spend a week in Nigeria in the run-up to the Diaspora Day. Because part of the law setting up NIDCOM was that Nigeria recognizes every July 25th as Diaspora Day. In the same way we have Independence Day, we have Democracy Day, Children's Day, July 25th is Diaspora Day. And in the run-up to that, we go to Nigeria to run this project. And I'll talk about the project shortly. And we also call it a week for Nigeria because NIDO UK South members who are unable to go to Nigeria by themselves also contribute for that week when we're in Nigeria. And that is, for them, it will be a week for Nigeria. Now, when we go on this week in and for Nigeria, and let me hasten to say here that other NIDO branches, both at the national and continental, are keen into this initiative by NIDO UK South for a week in and for Nigeria, because like in this past Diaspora Day that happened last month, NIDO Europe, keyed in, became a partner, and we had NIDO Hungary and some other NIDO national who joined. So it's fast going to become a NIDO worldwide thing that will spend this week in Nigeria. Now, when we go on this week in Nigeria, there are two major things we do when we go. The first one is we interact with government officials and government departments. And that is to build alliances, build collaborations, give them our own advice, seek from them their challenges so that we can take that in-house and see how we can partner with them to address that. So that's the first major thing we do. And I will talk about the details of what we have been doing in that regard in due course. The other second thing we do is that we do NIDO projects. And under NIDO projects, we have projects that are sponsored by NIDO UK South itself. We also have projects that individual members of NIDO UK South, under the banner of NIDO and the endorsement of NIDO, also implement. And all these things happen in Nigeria, more specifically during the week in and for Nigeria, but that doesn't mean it is only the window that we do this project. We actually do these projects all year round. Now, if I speak specifically on these projects, I'll talk about the collaboration one first. So like last year we had meetings and visited government departments, including the Ministry of Information, the Ministry of Power, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC. We also visited the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We had discussions with them. And like I said, what we do in those meetings is we go to these departments, we sit with them, and with their highest leaders. Like when we go to ministry, we sit with the ministers, and like in the EFCC, we sit with the executive chairman. We are professionals in different callings. We make ourselves available to them in terms of our expertise and our knowledge in the various areas of governance that they are backing on. We also give them our own advice on where we think they should be looking at. I'll give you a further example, a deeper example. At the Ministry of Power last year, for instance, we told them that Nigeria, a country of 200 million people, is supplying 3,000 megawatts of electricity daily. 200 million people. Now we opened their eyes to the fact that in the UK, where we live, with 65 million people, the economy gets 730,000 megawatts of electricity every day. So you can compare 730,000 megawatts and then 3,000 megawatts. And we opened their eyes to the fact that electricity being the lifeblood of any 21st century economy, that there is nothing that can be done to the Nigerian economy for it to grow except to give it sufficient electricity. Because a body just like my body now, if you deprive my body of blood, once you take a look at me, you will know that I'm not doing well. And that is what has been happening to the Nigerian economy. It's not receiving sufficient electricity. And for us, we felt this advocacy was very important because the lack of electricity in Nigeria is what is generating a lot of the problems that Nigeria is grappling with. If you want me to go deeper, I can say that you look at problems that Nigeria is grappling with. What is the first problem? The first problem is like exchange rates, where the Naira was at the beginning of the current dispensation 150 Naira. Naira started to be a currency that was stronger than the dollar. As we speak today, the Naira is topping 700 to $1. And what is the reason for that? The reason for that is simple. It is the loss of demand and supply. Naira is chasing the dollar more now. The people who have Naira and they want to buy the dollar are more in the market than those who want to sell the dollar. And of course, the dollar being a commodity, the price will go up. How will electricity change that? Electricity will change that because if we give Nigeria's economy even 30,000 megawatts, let's move away from 3,000 to even 30,000 megawatts, you will realize that factories that are hitherto closed will reopen. And once they start producing locally, the goods that Nigerians are looking for dollar to go and buy and import to the country, well, they'll start producing them locally. So there will be no need for us to go and be looking for the dollar to go and import those things. The same thing with unemployment. Unemployment will be dealt with because as factories and businesses are thriving, so they will need more hands to come in and do their work. The same thing, inflation will be tackled because inflation is happening in Nigeria because as the dollar is gaining strength against the naira, and we are buying things in dollars and bringing, you see that the prices are going to increase. If I bought something at 150 naira a few years ago, now that same thing will cost 700. So there's inflation only because the currency is going against the naira. The exchange rate is going against the naira. So inflation will be tackled. And if unemployment is tackled, some of the issues that Nigeria is dealing with now, like banditry, kidnapping and all of that, will be tackled because you never hear a banker going to do banditry or kidnap anybody. You never hear a man or woman working in the oil industry going to kidnap or do any banditry. Why? Because they have good jobs and every day they go to their jobs. The people who are carrying out this criminality are unemployed. Some of them are just looking for something to eat. So you can imagine the impact of a single thing like electricity that will have on the nation. And so for us in NIDO UK South, we don't want to sit abroad and be writing articles or talking and criticizing government. Our project is take ourselves to government, sit with them, let us look each other eyeball to eyeball, let us tell them what we feel needs to be done to make Nigeria the country that we all be happy with. They also have the opportunity to tell us what their challenges are. And our own expertise and our own talents and resources that we have can then be used to support them so that they can govern better and make lives of Nigerians better. So that is the kind of thing we do with that collaboration. This year, 2022, we just came back. And this year, we were at the Ministry of Water Resources. We were at the what's the drug agency? Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency. Yeah, we're there. We were at the Foreign Affairs again because that is the supervising ministry for NIDO, and all of those places. National Assembly, we engage with them, especially like when we were advocating. We asked actually advocating for diaspora voting, and so those are the kind of places that we go, spending our money and our resources to go and do that because the government doesn't fund us to go back home to do that. So that is on the terms of advocacy.
You just narrated how NIDO and UK has actually come to and tried to come in and then meet with people in power to rectify some things. But how come we are still not seeing any positive changes? Is it that they are not listening to you guys? Or is it that they don't really understand your concept? Or do you think there are more things that you guys need to do to make sure that the suggestions you are giving are being used effectively?
Well, I think you have laid out the answers, actually. You have laid out the answers beautifully in your submission. Things aren't working for a variety of reasons, including the fact that whether the government officials who are engaging are actually listening to us, whether they have the political will to do the things that we suggest to them to do, or whether we even on the NIDO side need to change our game and adopt other approaches in terms of how we can pass our messages and make them to be more effective. But having said that, there are also shifts. There are shifts in terms of performance on the side of government departments and officials, given these advocacies that we have been doing. Like, for instance, I give you an example for this year. We went to the NDLEA and we told them that there is a need for them to set up a department for diaspora affairs within that agency so that they can harness the talents and resources of Nigerians in diaspora to help them fight the drug war. And they accepted it, and it's something that they are going to do. What then that means is that there will be an official that we have the specific responsibility to be able to network with the diaspora. You see, most of these drug drug offenses are committed in abroad, by misguided elements within the Nigerian diaspora community. So if we have that kind of collaboration, we can become their local intelligence sources, for instance, that will help them do their work better. And they agreed to do that. In fact, the same thing we did request for at the Ministry of Water Resources, which they have also agreed to. And in fact, we also were invited to go to the agro fair in Abuja there, where we make a representation. And we told the Abuja Chamber of Commerce, who run that fair, that they should also set up a diaspora desk so that we Nigerians can have a platform where we can actually harness resources, not just of ours, but also organizations and charities that are in the places where we live that can come in to support these various departments of government and even non-governmental agencies like the chambers of commerce and even the charities that we go back home to support. So that's the kind of thing I would say that there has been some movement. There has to be some positive development in this advocacy that we're doing.
It's all right. Now, you agree with me that the diaspora has the best of everything in terms of Nigerians over there. Okay, they have the best of Nigeria, be it in medical profession, in an accounting, just like yourself, and there is so many other fields. Okay, but here the necessary changes that you've just outlined, we are not really getting the best of it. Okay, now would you? I don't know. Some people will tell you that it might have an effect if those in diaspora start going into political positions in the country. Are you of the same opinion?
Very much. I'm so totally aligned with that opinion you have expressed. First and foremost, you are very correct to say that the diaspora have the best of Nigerians, and that is true. That's absolutely true. And it's unfortunate that we take our time, regardless of the fact that we don't even have the money like other nations have. We train doctors, nurses, engineers, accountants, lawyers. We train all these professionals only for us to lose them to other nations. So imagine Nigeria, a poorer nation, is training all these professionals and sending them to the UK, a country that is rich, that is able to train their own professionals. But that is the reality of the situation. So to now take it to the political space, indeed, that is one of the things that NIDO UK South especially is about. To support our members who want to step up into the political space. Like I did indicate, we have been fighting for diaspora voting, and we're still fighting for that. Because even smaller nations like Chad, even Kenya that recently did their elections, you have their nationals who are voting in the diaspora. So that's one thing we're fighting for. But the second thing we're also saying is that Nigeria's problems stem from leadership. Leadership is the main problem of Nigeria. Otherwise, Nigeria is one of the most beautiful countries, well blessed and resourced that you can find around the world. But we don't have the leadership that can harness all this together and build a prosperous nation where peace and justice will reign. So NIDO UK South specifically supports our members to go and be part of the political space in Nigeria. And I can give you a very good example, a very, very good example. In this current electoral cycle that we are undergoing now, our chairman of NIDO UK South, the Honorable Mrs. Susan Wire, she actually went home to Benue State, her state, and stood for election as governor of Benue State. And NIDO UK South were fully behind her, because that's the kind of thing we support. We want our members to step up and step into the game, because this change that we have been fighting for over the years, we have discovered that the change will be better if it is fought from within. If it is fought from within and not from outside the political circles. So it's a continuing process, it's a journey, and we actively, like we have already said, been supporting our members to go back to Nigeria and apply the talent, the capability, and the capacity that we have, which we are using in foreign lands, in Nigeria, so that we can build a better nation.
It's all right. But right as it stands now, we discovered that we're even having more of brain drain than people coming back to Nigeria to actually implement what they've been endowed with to develop the country. How do you advise you that think a better line or a better life is outside Nigeria?
It is an unfortunate situation, like you have rightly said. I think on the minds of an average Nigerian youth now is to leave the country, or in what they call japa. They want to japa, and we can't stop it. We can't stop it because, to be honest with ourselves, Nigeria, especially in the last few years, has become a very difficult place to live in. The cases of insecurity all over the country. It used to be in the northeast, but now it's all over. The response of the security architecture to cases of insecurity is also not encouraging. You have cases like the Kaduna train victims who are still in captivity on Nigerian soil. You have unemployment. You have breakdown in healthcare. You have the roads are not good. You have inflation, both for poor and the rich. I mean, for the poor people going to the market to buy, prices of goods are escalating. Even for the rich, a 1 hour flight from Abuja to Lagos now is costing over 100,000. What used to be like 15, 18,000 only a few years ago. So everybody is feeling the pinch of the country. So the desire to leave the country, therefore, has stopped the agenda in many minds, especially the young minds in Nigeria. But what we are saying, especially in NIDO UK South, is to educate the minds of Nigerians to say, we are better off staying back in Nigeria and changing the country, our country, to become a place where we all enjoy to live, than to live and go abroad somewhere else. And I believe that it is possible for us to actually do that. In NIDO UK South, we also were engaged in voter education, where we educated our people to see their one vote as the power that they have to choose the right leaders that can take us to where we want to go to. And we saw that our efforts and the efforts of others actually helped, because the issue of having your PVC became prominent in Nigeria before the close of voter registration.
Yeah, I think every Nigerian wants the real change that we've all been praying for. But I would like to ask this question. Okay, if you look at it, discover that even our leaders, our present leaders, one way or the other, have visited the diaspora. Okay, they have access to those things. They've gone there on their own. They've seen things, developmental strive of these people. They've seen how things are done over there. But unfortunately, when they come back here as leaders, whatever they see there, they are not implementing it here. Why is it so? Because Nigerians are becoming too skeptical, as in, oh, how are we sure that when the past leaders have done that and we didn't see any change, how are we so sure that even the NIDO people send their own persons over here is going to make any positive change? So how do you relate to that?
I think again you have a very solid point that you have made, because in Nigeria we have people who have lived in the diaspora go back and take leadership position at various levels in the political landscape, and we have not seen them perform differently from Nigerians who have lived in Nigeria. So it is not even something that is suggestive or something we think. It is what has happened, that we have seen Nigerians in the diaspora return to Nigeria and deliver nothing. But perhaps this is not a NIDO UK position, but my own opinion about what you have said is that there's a difference between those with leadership qualities and those who are in leadership positions but are not leaders. I think one of Nigeria's greatest problems over the years since our independence in 1960 is the fact that we have been unlucky for the most part to have those who are in leadership positions but don't have leadership qualities. You know, a leader is different from someone who is just sitting in a leadership position. You can be occupying the job like I'm an accountant. You can be occupying the job of a financial controller, but you're not an accountant. Your performance is going to be different from if you actually bring in an accountant to occupy that position. And once Nigerians are able to elect leaders, true leaders, to occupy leadership positions, this scenario you have painted so succinctly will be different. Because one of the qualities that a leader has is compassion. They have compassion over the people they are leading. So there is no way you can be a leader and you see your people without water, without food, without jobs, without electricity. They don't have good roads. Inflation is biting them. Bandits are killing them. And that doesn't attract sympathy from you. It means you are not a leader. You might even be in a leadership position, but you're not a leader. Because a leader is going to look at that and he won't like it, and then he will take decisive action to change the game. It's a leader that goes abroad, like you have said, looks at clean hospitals abroad and goes back to his people and say, I'm going to build you an equivalent hospital or even a better hospital. But if you are not a leader and you go abroad, you see that kind of hospital, all that is in your mind is to go there with your family, enjoy qualitative healthcare, and return quietly to go and sit down. So what has happened in Nigeria is that leadership has been our problem. We've never had true leaders, except a few, to actually run Nigeria at all levels. And that is why 2023 is so important for every Nigerian. Whether you are living in Nigeria or you are in the diaspora, we all need to come into the political space and ensure that those who will emerge as leaders at all levels in 2023 are true leaders. And once we have a true leader in charge of the country, a true leader at the state and at the national and state assemblies, you begin to see that a true leader will be fighting those who are against the people. For instance, now, we are spending 4 trillion, now they are talking about 6 trillion on fuel subsidy. And you know that fuel subsidy is a black box that nobody knows what is going on there. A true leader.
Let's sell on your behalf. If your item sells on our web shop, you pay a 10% commission plus the transaction fees, and you get the rest. Register now at www.shop.clevenard.com. Start uploading your product and services. We can really sell it on your behalf so you can carry on working on the things important to you. Are you looking to sell any type of product or service and you want to avoid the hassle involved? Selling can be an arduous and time-consuming process. At Clevenard Super Shop, we will be happy to take over the workload of promoting or selling your products or services. All you need to do is to register at www.shop.clevenard.com, enter your shop or vendor information, and then start uploading your product and services. We will do the selling. Now, be ready to get more sales and awareness. Start making more money from your business with Clevenard Super Shop by partnering with us today.
A true leader will look at that and say, no, I cannot allow a few people to be racketeering in this sector and Nigerians are suffering. He will go against them. He's going against them on account of the people. But someone who is not a leader, he looks at it, either he's afraid to go against them or he joins them and they are all looting from that fuel subsidy. So this is the difference between what has been happening and what needs to be in 2023 as far as leadership is concerned in Nigeria.
Agule. Now, I would like to bring us back to NIDO itself. We talked about the 5C mandates of NIDO. Can you explain that?
The what?
The 5C mandates, NIDO.
Did you say the 5C mandate of NIDO?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I don't have them offered, but these were for NIDO UK South. These were the electoral promises that were made by.
Just summarize it if you don't really have them off out. Just make
Yes,
it some.
yes, there were the electoral promises that were made by the former chairman of NIDO, who should be in office now, but for some reasons he had to step down from his position, which is why his vice, the Honorable Mrs. Susan Wire, is now the president. But it all talked about, I think one of the C's there is collaboration, which is one of the things that we are doing actively, both here in the UK and back in Nigeria as well. And then in all, they were all targeted at what NIDO is about. NIDO is about harnessing our talents and resources and our capacities and competencies for homeland development. We're meant to be focused on homeland development, in as much as we also deal with issues that confront us even here in the diaspora, like recently the Ukrainian crisis that made a lot of Nigerians, especially students, become refugees. NIDO worldwide and continental NIDO, including NIDO UK South, we stepped up and supported students. Some of them that found themselves in the UK were also getting active support here in the UK. Some were accommodated, some were shown schools and scholarship opportunities that they can take advantage of so that they can resettle their lives. So everything about NIDO, whether the seats are 5, they are 10, they are 15, is all about putting us together for homeland development. And that is what we stand for.
It's all right. Now, talking about homeland development again, there are reports of an ongoing project, transportation project in Nigeria. Can you just say one or two things about that?
Okay, so the transportation project in Nigeria, which is being led by me, is basically to intervene in the transportation sector in Nigeria. Basically, the idea behind that is that NIDO should not only be talking, should not only be advocating, should not only be visiting government departments and officials and sharing ideas with them about how governance can be done better, but that we can actually pick an aspect of our economy, of life or livelihood, and actually change it and work with it. Because to think about it, the government can't do it alone. Even here in the UK, where I'm speaking from, the government doesn't do it alone. There are a lot of charities here in the UK that are supporting, their own communities in one way or the other. So this transportation project was the idea that we have identified public transportation, especially the intercity, moving from one city to the other, to be a huge issue. A lot of Nigerians are losing their lives on the road. And they are losing their lives because, one, the roads are not good. Two, the vehicles they are traveling in are not motorable. And those that are behind the wheels in those vehicles shouldn't be on the road. So what we have decided to do is we want to, and this is exactly what you said, that when our leaders go abroad, they see things, they should take it back home. We have come here, we have seen the bus service here in the UK that's called the National Express that runs buses all across the UK. And we started a project to set up a National Express type service, bus service in Nigeria. And as I speak now, the service is already operational, is running buses. It started on the pilot route to enable us to study it. So we are running buses from Abuja to Makurdi and back. And very soon we're going to cover new areas like Jos, like Lagos, and all of that. Now, what are we bringing different to the transportation sector in Nigeria? The first thing is that uh, if you want to travel on public transportation in Nigeria, for the most part, you are going to go to a motor park, buy a ticket, and you wait for the last ticket to be sold. Until the person that buys that last ticket comes to the park, you are not leaving. So you could be so unfortunate that you'll be the first to buy a ticket, and the person who will come and buy the last ticket is still sleeping on his bed. And until he wakes up from bed and does everything he wants to do. So we have dealt with that by having scheduled services. So you have to go online to book this service. If you don't have access to the internet, then there are agents that you can give them card and book the service. So it's scheduled service. If the bus is to leave at 7 or 10, that is when the bus will leave. And the passengers on that bus will gather themselves and leave. That's the same way we travel here. And the buses are new, or they are first grade used buses. The people manning the buses are trained by the Federal Road Safety Commission and examined. They also will carry out medical tests to check if they have any substances that will affect their performance. We have independent bus stations. We transport people under conducive environment, air conditioning them all the way so that they will be fresh and all that. So this is a big project that we started, and in this last Diaspora Day, we exhibited it at the Diaspora Day itself, and all the senior government officials that were there, they saw it, they saw our efforts, they saw what we are doing, and this is a direct intervention, and not just by talking or writing. We actually are running this bus service, and ultimately, our objective is that this bus service will come and become like a boat or Uber system, but for intercity travel. So that anywhere in Nigeria you want to travel, you travel under the same standards, the comfort, safety, and value for money that you get, just as if you were traveling in any of these nations where we reside now.
But many people will want to argue that, okay, you are concentrating this development in Abuja itself, which on its own is already developed. So I still wanted to speak one or two things about that. Are there plans to take it to less developed states in the country?
Yes. So, like I said, the Abuja Makodi route is just a pilot route. Because one thing that we have to put into consideration before we start a route is that we assess the security and the road condition. So there are some roads in Nigeria now that we're not going to be able to put a bus on. Say, for instance, if you want us to run Abuja Kaduna now by road, we're not going to do that because the security situation is not good enough, and where the road condition is not good enough, we don't do that. So yeah, Abuja Makudi started at the pilot phase. Jos is opening up, Lokoja is opening up, Lagos will open up soon, Port Harcourt will open up soon. We are starting with connecting the cities, and then with time, we are going to connect every town around in Nigeria. So it's just a takeoff. The project has only been running for about 8 months. So it's not yet long in existence.
It's all right. 2023, Nigerians get set again to pick leaders that we pray will lead the country to lead us into the promised land. Now you are saying that NIDO members are interested politically in the affairs of the country. Okay, now for every Nigerian out there that will think, oh, we'll try one or two of these people, and they will not really see their differences. What are they coming to do? Except just to come and speak and give us their big grammars and all that. What is your advice for such people?
So our advice is that Nigerians should not look at promises any longer when they are deciding who to vote for to elect as their leaders. Nigerians should look at pedigree, they should look at the track record, should look at the history, dig into the history of these people. And this is where we also call on the media sector to come in. It's the media that is to help us, to help Nigerians to separate the chaff from the grain. Is the role of the media elsewhere, especially here where we are in the UK, is a media that carries out investigative journalism they dig into people, dig into events, check things, and bring them to the fore so that the citizens can see it and then make better decisions. So people shouldn't just be looking at those who spring up. I call them emergency good men. They didn't bother about the community. They never cared about what was happening to the people. But only when election time approached, they now came forward and started to woo the voters with bags of salt, maggi, and onion, and asking the people to vote them. You would clearly know that those are merchants. They are trading with the people's votes. So our advocacy is for people to check the background of those who are standing for office. What have they done in the past? If they haven't delivered anything in the past that is good, that is people-oriented, that is for the good of the community, you can be assured that if you give them an elected position, a higher position, that they are not going to change. As they say, a leopard finds it difficult to change his spot. So it's part of our voter education that people should vote right. Don't accept that 500, because if you do, you are mortgaging your 4 years ahead to a merchant who is trading with your vote. So it's part of our advocacy that Nigerians should actually check the background, pedigree, and track record of candidates, and then we stand a chance of getting good candidates to step in.
It's all right. Thank you so much, Mr. Ning Loge. Yeah, thank you for being on my opinion this afternoon. And I want to let us pray that all your plans, those plans for Nigeria, comes to fruition very soon, and we're going to see a new Nigeria where everybody can be well settled, and in which you and I can be very, very proud of. So thank you once again for being our guest this afternoon.
Thank you so much, Franca, for hosting me, and thanks to Cleveland for doing this. I mean, it's a good one. We all need to have our hands on deck. Whatever anybody is able to bring to the table, let's bring it so that our country will become a better country than it is now. Thank you.
So much. All right, thank you, viewers, for staying with us. It's been an exciting more than 40 minutes here, and we have to draw the curtain here for today. Until next week, we will come your way with another exciting guest on this program. I remain Frank Kalide Media, staying by from here.
Clevenard Marketers is the #1 property guru. We are not estate agents, but we aim to be the platform for property seekers, where they can seek details of all properties available around to buy or sell. We have created a significantly more convenient and effective way for property buyers and sellers to find their next property, up-to-date property information. It is based almost entirely on long-term partnerships and collaborations with hundreds of developers, master agents, and local agents, wealth managers, operating around the world. We act as a global hub for new build development projects and investment properties. Our partner developers promote their new projects and investment opportunities via our marketing platform, which is connected to thousands of professional collaborators, who together form Clevenard. Our network members work worldwide, and our partner agents' total client base exceeds 200, registered active investors, and lifestyle property buyers. We are always open to forming new partnerships with reputable developers, professional master agents, and renowned local agents with proven sales records. Join us today by signing up free at www.clevenard.com.